Chriselda Lewis. A very good morning to you, Chriselda. Stops and starts, and today reserved for sorting out the legal representation of accused 1 to 4. What can we expect?
Well, that's right, Desiree. As I was telling our sister program Morning Live just a few moments ago, that indeed the 2nd of August day had been set aside to establish whether accused 1 to 4 would have been able to secure legal representation. That's what the postponement was about the last time. But between then and now, so much has happened in this particular matter. You would recall after the dramatic recusal or withdrawal of Advocate Malesela Teffo, who was representing accused 1 to 4 in this matter. He basically said he did not want to continue participating in this particular case. He felt that the court was biased towards him. The court did not want to listen to him. You'd recall in the last sitting, he wanted to stand up several times and address quite a number of issues, which the judge felt, the presiding judge, Chief Mamela, was a complete waste of the court's time and a disregard for his colleagues, the defense for accused number 5, Advocate Zandile Mshololo, as well as the state prosecutor, Advocate George Baloyi. So court had basically been postponed the last time to allow for legal representation to be found. But unfortunately, in the run-up to this particular date, another letter that has very much been in the public domain, Advocate Malesela Teffo basically saying he's not going to withdraw from this matter, he's back on it again, and basically accuses the presiding judge of witchcraft. In this letter, he talks about a sangoma and a concoction, if I may, that the judge in this particular matter has been using. He's also calling for a separation of trial from accused number 5, and also wants the National Director of Public Prosecutions to basically get a senior official to prosecute Kelly Kumala, who was the then girlfriend of the late Senzo Meyiwa. So it'll be very interesting to see what transpires in this court this morning, because as I understand it from those in the legal fraternity, you simply cannot just remove yourself from a matter and come back when you want to again. It'll be very interesting to hear from the presiding judge whether he's going to allow him back into this particular trial, which has really been fraught with delays for several years. And the essence or the crux of this matter at this particular stage is Senzo Meyiwa's family, who've long been asking questions about whether there's going to be justice in this matter. You would recall, Desiree, that we're not even through the cross-examination of the state's first witness. So whether this matter is going to proceed here this morning, whether Advocate Malesela Teffo will be allowed to continue to represent the accused 1 to 4, whether the judge will allow that. I know that Timothy Tobane, who is the instructing attorney for accused 1 to 4, will be present inside court. He is likely to address the court on this particular matter here this morning. Advocate Malesela Teffo not expected to be inside court. He is attending to another matter. Recall the dramatic arrest that had taken place inside court of allegations that he had failed to attend to another court appearance. So many side shows in this particular matter, Desiree. It's actually getting very difficult to keep tabs on so much that needs to happen. Also, on the 4th of August, he will be appearing in court, and I understand that the Legal Practice Council is part of those that have taken him to court over alleged misconduct. I also now know that a number of Advocate Malesela Teffo's colleagues, or some within the legal fraternity, have also complained to the Legal Practice Council over his conduct in this particular matter, and in particular over this letter that has now been made public, in which he basically accuses the judge of witchcraft and using certain concoctions, which he says had hoped would allow him to collapse inside this court. Quite a dramatic letter that he has written. I also now understand that he has also lodged a complaint with the Legal Practice Council against Advocate Zandile Mshololo, as well as Advocate George Baloyi, who is the state prosecutor in this particular matter. So with all these side shows that have been taking place, I do understand that the Meyiwa family has been quite disconcerted by what has happened. When this trial itself had started, there was a hope that the witnesses that had been placed on the record in this court will proceed to give their evidence as well as be cross-examined, but massive delays in this particular matter. But core here this morning is whether the court will allow Advocate Malesela Teffo to continue representing accused number 1 to 4. But I know that what the instructing attorney for accused 1 to 4 will also ask for is to have an audience with the accused 1 and 4, and perhaps that will give us an indication of how this matter will proceed this morning. So your guess is as good as mine in terms of what might happen here.
Chriselda, of course, we're looking at, on the one hand, the Meyiwa family getting justice, but also the legal fraternity. But the part we're not speaking about is the rules that determine what judges can and cannot say in public. And of course, this determines how the judge can respond to all these allegations made against him.
Well, absolutely, Desiree. And I think in this matter, I'd be very surprised if Judge Teffo does not say anything about what transpired in this court the last time, and in particular, this letter, which clearly takes a jibe at him and accuses him of witchcraft, of consuming concoctions, and basically with the ploy of trying to collapse him inside this court. I would be very surprised if the judge does not say something about that. Now, Advocate Malesela Teffo is not expected to be in court. That's what he told me this morning. In fact, the instructing attorney is expected to be here. Those who have made complaints, remember, the Legal Practice Council can only take a decision on the conduct of anyone within the legal fraternity if there is a complaint laid. Now, I understand there are a number of complaints that have been laid against Advocate Malesela Teffo, not just related now, I understand, to the Senzo Meyiwa trial, but to other matters as well. Last time when I had spoken to them, they had indicated they had been investigating about 2 matters. This was unrelated to the Senzo Meyiwa trial, but now I know, I have it on record from them that they are investigating some of these complaints that have been laid by those in the legal fraternity. But what the judge will say in this particular matter, especially because we've not met inside this court since this letter has gone public, where he's been accused of quite a number of things, including witchcraft and consuming some concoctions, I expect that even though Advocate Malesela Teffo will not be inside court this morning, well, that's what he told me, he might address that issue to the instructing attorney Timothy Tobani inside court this morning, who I understand will ask for an audience with the court as well as with the accused 1 to 4.
Chriselda, of course, will be watching events at the court.